I feel like sharing, just speaking about my part of my bio on here and everything, the whole like wellness for all. It's just a very everything combined sort of thing, because certain things, if you say them in the wrong way, people will be like taken aback, like, oh, what's that all about? That's extreme. It's like, no, it's not. But anyway, first I just want to say I apologize for my facial hair. I'm sure it doesn't bother you. Other people's facial hair doesn't bother me, but my facial hair bothers me, so I'm just going to say that anyway. But I'm getting ready. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I'm going to be nice and clean and fresh and fruity and all that. I'm going to wear some cool clothes and everything. It's just a time people sort of look how you want to look and everything. It's fun. Like, my body doesn't define me, but I like to dress certain ways and everything. It's normal to have that good time and want to just be like, oh, this is nice and cozy or whatever. But yeah, back to this part. So, like, wellness for all. I could say, what all does that include? I didn't actually think it over in my head first. I did a little bit, but you could say you want all sorts of people, all sorts of animals to feel well, to not be exploited, to not be harmed. And that sounds pretty, some people be like, okay, yeah, we're sort of on board with the people part of that. And then you say, well, I believe that we don't choose to come into this world, so it should be a granted right for all humans to have housing, food, and healthcare. It's like that. Some people might already start just being like, well, that's kind of that's unrealistic. That's not how the world works. It's like, you take some money from these different ways, put them into other places, like, different things. Like, we spend a shit ton of money on stuff, dude, and it is a very realistic thing to have that be, at least, like, you can't just have like a unified like world, but like in each country, like especially in the United States, like it's something that could work. And they've already shown that universal health care would save money, because you wouldn't be working with insurance companies and everything. Everybody could get good paying jobs doing different things and everything. Like, you can fix it. You'll save your people will be able to afford to survive more often and have the medication and healthcare and surgeries and everything that they need, whatever therapies. And then also, like, overall the economy would be stronger, because there would be less money being funneled into that whole thing. Oh, I've got 10% battery. Hold on. And then, yeah, of course, like, that one, more people will get a little frustrated about, because they don't like, some people don't like the idea of, like, the government taking care of you or whatever, but it's like, that's what it's there to do. That's the thing about me. Like, I don't even consider myself really a leftist. It's just like, I want like the social democrat sort of thing that a lot of places have. I don't, and it works, and it's top economists are like, yeah, it helps when people can have what they need to get by. It's like the machine keeps turning and everybody's, helping each other. And that's what I want to see, is income equality, where everybody has what they need. Everybody has what they need and more. Because if the richest, craziest, wealthiest people weren't that wealthy, and if everybody was more level, dude, everyone would be at such a good place. Like, it's a little different, but like in Sweden, there are billionaires, because there's like, when you start your own business, if it turns out being really booming, like I think Spotify, I'm pretty sure, started in Sweden, you can still have billionaires, but, so that part's kind of like, but they still have, like, overall, everybody else, like doctors and like all sorts of people, everybody has a nice car, everybody has a nice house, everybody has what they need to get by. And there are like, I'm sure homelessness is a thing, but I'm sure there are programs put in place and everything. There's a lot less of that. It probably has more to do with like undetected, like some sort of mental illness that we don't know about, or that they don't know they have, or I don't know, different things. But yeah, I want all sorts of people, everybody, to be fed, housed, and have health care. And then beyond that, more wellness for all. Yes, I mean all. I want an abolished death penalty. I believe that the worst people, sometimes people just, yeah, there's horrific things that people can do, and I am for stepping in when people are being harmed and saving the people and stuff like that. But after the fact, after it's been done and everything, I don't believe in legal murder. I don't believe that's the answer. You don't just put an end. It's just like, oh, that's the answer. We can't figure anything. Part of me is sort of mad scientist about it. Be like, well, do you agree to go into these therapies and try to work on yourself and learn about yourself? It's like we could, yeah, like I don't believe in legal murder. I believe in rehabilitation, redemption, therapeutic things that could like maybe change lives around and stuff. I feel like there's just more to be learned, and it's just really fucked up to just always be like, well, that was a terrible thing, so you gotta die or what. Like, in a so-called like Christian nation and everything, like very strange to me. I don't know, but yeah, I can't say. I do. It makes sense if someone hurts someone. If I saw someone being hurt, I would probably want to hurt them. It's just like a natural instinct to be like, okay, we got to protect the innocent or whatever. But it's like after things have been done, I can't say because I live in a place of great privilege where I've seen some really dark stuff and I've lost people and everything, but I've never had that sort of thing where it's like some like mass murder, mass shooting or anything like that, you know? Or like whatever would be the cause of them saying it's enough to be the death penalty. So I lost a lot of people there too. I don't believe in that, and people think that that's crazy or whatever. And then the last thing I guess would be like, I don't believe. Well, no. Okay, let's start off with. You can go from there and everything. Just like this has all been first world stuff, but let's step out to places that struggle seriously and have like ongoing conflicts. I believe if you can't fight a war, first off, some of these wars should never have been started because it's just like so-called revenge against like a group that's in the country. It's complete bullshit. You were like shooting people that are like fish in a barrel, and it's fucking super fucked up, and you're like declining any sort of be like, oh, no assistance, no health assistance. And I follow some places, I've donated to some places that do try to get people in there to help the kids and everything. Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah. If you're fighting a war, they say it's like such a good rate. Call me crazy, call me like delusional, but I'm an idealist in some ways. If you can't fight a war without 50% of the people dying being innocent bystanders, just civilians, like casualties of war, you don't need it. And beyond that, it's like so many wars haven't been needed. There was World War II. It's like I say, I probably would have fought in with the Allies and stuff because it's like I can't grasp that sort of thing. Apparently, there was some very hypnotic sort of demonic thing to Hitler and stuff. He seemed to really know how to rally people up in like a scary way to where nobody's thinking properly. They're all just like, yeah, this is right. We want this nationalism. We want this place to be strong, and these people are bad and everything. Like really evil shit, like bigoted violence. And it's like back then there was propaganda in Germany and stuff, of course, about Jewish people being so and so, having these traits and being like, oh, they're terrible, terrible, all this stuff. Who's the terrible ones? Jesus Christ. You think about all the experimentation, all the terrible things, all the starvation and just like horrible shit, like the nastiest part of like the last good while. But there is the propaganda for them, just like later on, it's a very different thing, but still more modern, with there was propaganda trying to dehumanize, make Afghans and Iraqis and everything look like less subhuman or whatever. Like all these things trying to make people, well, it makes sense because they're just, yeah, they're terrible. They're all terrible, believe me. And they didn't let it out in the papers that they knew it was an unwinnable war from the start. It's not like they were just gonna like do any sort of atomic bomb or anything. That would be super fucked up. But yeah, the personnel, like military, just soldiers, infantrymen, different things against, like, their numbers far outnumber the U.S., and different things. And that was basically just showing how oftentimes war, everybody knows this, but yeah, it's just a machine to make profits for certain companies and everything, and keep, basically just exploit the resources of this beautiful planet and everything, and just make things up to make people believe that, you know, there are all these enemies everywhere and everything. And of course there have been terrible people doing terrible things in these areas. There are people that have these beliefs to where it's like people in the United States are just terrible, and, you know, all these things, these beliefs about us and everything. So like it exists, but it's taken to an extent to just be like, make any entire group of people look like villains, villainize everyone and everything. So it's like that. Yeah. So yeah, war usually is just a big bullshit machine, but at the same time, it's difficult too, because it's like, you want the underdogs to, like, the ones that are being fucked with, to get their rights and to be free, and to, it's like, what, I don't know. So like there's not an entire like non-violence stance there or anything. I don't have the answers. And things look dark because oftentimes it's the big dogs, it's the ones with powerful militaries and everything that are doing these things. But yeah, and then also after war and just these things that are going on in other countries where it's more difficult, it's like, animal rights. I believe that we shouldn't exploit any sort of awesome animals. All animals deserve to do their own things. And those that need a little bit of assistance, yeah, we get these leftover cows and everything that we wouldn't be breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding just to force inseminate, just to tear families apart, take the milk, take the meat, and just eat up. Like, we would have the rest of them go to sanctuaries. There would be dwindling numbers, and we would be very grateful to just spend time with them and hang out with them and be like, yeah, oh yeah, some of us didn't realize that this is like a fucking puppy dog. You know, this soul is so precious and everything. Chickens are pretty cool too. Different things like, and then I lose people there because the majority of people think that that's extreme, that think that that's ridiculous, and it doesn't make sense. And again, even if you like, I'll accept anything. You know, you should care about sentient beings and their ability to perceive the world around them and feel pain and fear and mourn the loss of their loved ones and everything. You should care about that. But if that's not what it takes, of course, there is always that. There is always that. Cattle ranching is the #1 cause of rainforest deforestation. The areas with the greatest biodiversity, all sorts of cool animals, and like, this is one of the main things that drives climate change, that creates waste. We could feed the human population with like so much less land if it was all just crops, just good clean crops too. We could afford to lose some of the product because it's like we're using so much less land. We're no longer having to reeve down all these beautiful, pristine areas that should be fucking protected in the first place. And then, yeah, just grow in the places, some of the places that you can just have these and everything. Yeah, again, what is it like? We could use less than 1/4 of the land we currently use and feed the population of the planet clean, whole foods, plant-based meals of all sorts of fruits and veggies, the stuff that's good for us. Get plenty of protein from different things. Soy isn't the best crop for the forests and everything, but it would still be, even if you did, that was like everyone's source of protein was like tofu, we'd still be far better off. Our planet, it would be, oh my god, just dream of a planet like, but yeah, some lentils or some black beans or whatever, and you can get everything you need from plants and a B12 supplement. Anyway, those are just some of the things to me. Yeah, just when I say wellness for all advocate, it's just like, that's what I mean. All souls here beside us, we are all together, and I want everyone to feel okay and to have what they need to survive and do well, learn, grow, be there beside each other. I love you. Have a good day.